All right, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to the Anything is Achievable podcast, the health podcast. I'm excited to bring you a special guest today, Dan Clark, and he is an acupuncturist who specializes in fertility. So all of you couples who are out there in Utah and you're, debating about having a family, and maybe you're struggling and maybe you're trying to weigh in your options, you definitely want to tune in to today's episode because Dan, the man, is going to tell you how he can help you through acupuncture. So Dan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you. Thank you for having me on, Jimmy. I'm excited to be here. And yeah, my name is Dan Clark, and I am a licensed acupuncturist in American Forks, Utah. And I do specialize in fertility, and so I've been practicing for about 19 years now, and I've had my own clinic for about 15 years, and I'm very passionate about what I do and help people achieve the optimal health. And so
yeah, that's great. So Dan, I'm pretty sure the audience is wondering, why acupuncture? How did you get into the field of acupuncture?
People ask me that every day when patients come in, and they always ask me, how and why I got into acupuncture. So it started when I was growing up. My dad had Epstein-Barr, and he tried many different things. And so about 8 years, a friend of his referred him to an acupuncturist. And over a period of time, he slowly got better. And he took me to a few of his acupuncture appointments. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. How in the world did a bunch of needles help my dad get well? And even though I didn't understand it, I remember thinking the body has the capacity to heal itself, but maybe you just need tools to help it heal. And so I believe that acupuncture is one of those tools that allow the body to heal itself. And but as far as wanting to become an acupuncturist, that came later on as I went through college, took my generals and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And there wasn't much information about acupuncture back then. And so, but I found a natural health magazine at Good Earth, which is a health food store in Utah, and I found acupuncture schools in the back, and so I called a few of them, and I actually ended up going to Southwest Acupuncture College, and graduated in 2003 with my master's in Oriental medicine, and been doing it ever since.
Nice. So you said you've been doing it for how many years?
19 years this year.
19 years. Wow. Long time. You still love it?
I do.
That's great. So acupuncture, many people probably don't know, acupuncture can be used to treat a lot of variety of disorders. And so, but you specialize in fertility. So why? What was the interest in specializing in fertility?
So I think it came over time as I had patients come in for fertility issues, and so there's a lot of cases of infertility in Utah, and I think a lot of it has to do with Utah is really big on families, and so myself, I have 5 kids, and so we've had, my wife and I have struggled a couple of times, and we know what it feels like when you have a miscarriage or if you struggle, and so it can be very devastating, and especially if you want to expand your family. And so I think kind of came from my personal experience and my experience with my patient, just wanting to help them expand their families, and so, and also if it's also very rewarding when you help a couple be able to expand their family. When they say, hey, you know, our baby daughter was born, or our baby son was born, you know, and they always comment, you know, thank you so much for your help. And so it's very rewarding on my part as a practitioner to be able to help patients expand their families.
Yeah. Well, 5 kids. I don't think you had that hard of a time. But I can understand, you know, the experience if you know, losing, miscarriages, you know, that's a very traumatic experience. And so talking about that, so besides fertility, you know, actually it's tied into fertility. So do you also help women who have miscarriages or frequent miscarriages, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So it's not just fertility in itself, just getting pregnant. Like, what else do you, how do you help your patients? Is it just getting them pregnant, or do you help them throughout the pregnancy? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, good question. So when they come in, we do an examination and we find out what their goals are. Obviously, they want to get pregnant, but sometimes they will have a history of miscarriage. And so that will play a part in the treatment plan. And so the goal is to help them basically get healthy. So if you have symptoms, it's obviously the body telling you that something's wrong. And so we want to treat the symptom, but we also want to treat the root cause of the problem. And we do that by looking at what organs are not functioning as well as it should. And the way we can tell is by doing a health history. We do diagnostic tools that we have. We actually look at the tongue. We take the pulse, and that gives a clue about what could be causing the symptoms that they're having. And so that's the first goal, is to help them get healthier. And if they are healthy, then that increases the chances of getting pregnant. And so and along that line, as well as regulating the period and the cycle and reducing PMS symptoms, and that all plays a part in the treatment goals.
Great. Very detailed explanation. So when they get pregnant, do you still continue to treat them, or do you need to continue to treat them?
For the most part, some women, once they get pregnant, they like to continue, especially if they have a history of miscarriage. But I do present them the option to continue treatment to help them stay healthy, prevent miscarriage, treat anything that comes up. Usually morning sickness is a very common symptom that comes up, and so it's basically kind of treat the body as it goes through the pregnancy process.
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand you, and also the audience can understand you. You help women who can't get pregnant. You help them through that process of becoming pregnant, and then once they become pregnant, then you help them address the pregnancy, whether it's, you said, the morning sickness, or maybe some back pain, and you help them through that process to make the pregnancy enjoyable, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And then and then what about, some women, they may have difficult, labor, or maybe they're past their due date. Do you also assist with and helping them have a better experience when they deliver?
Yes, that's a very good question. So usually a few weeks before labor, we actually start the preparation process to kind of get them ready for labor. And so that may include like softening the cervix, or reducing blocks and hips, and try to make it more comfortable for them. And then if they get to the due date or after, then we actually do treatment to help them induce labor.
Okay, great. And then like in the Chinese culture, we have something after the woman delivers, we have something, what we call in Chinese 坐月子, is basically like for the month, the next month is to help recover the woman, the mother basically needs to stay home, get pampered like a queen, doesn't touch anything, and they stay home and help their bodies recover. And during these times, there's certain food, like dietary, lifestyle modifications. So do you also help with that?
I do. So yeah, we offer that, and we also come up with a treatment plan, and it could be dietary, it could be herbs, could be acupuncture treatments to help them recover. And so, because labor is a pretty intense experience, and so yeah, they need help to recover from that. And so,
thankfully we're men. We don't have to experience it. Okay, great. And so what about they have the kid after that first month? What about if they're not producing enough breast milk? Could they come back to you to get some help with that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's really, again, based on their goals, and and you don't know what's gonna come up, and so we basically treat what the body is going through. And so if they're struggling with breast milk, there are things that we can do to help with breast milk production. And
Okay, so it sounds like you help women or families get pregnant, and then help the mother have a great experience through the pregnancy. And then if they have any complications after delivery, you also assist with that, and just so that their mother's health can recover more quickly. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yep. That's
okay.
Sounds great.
Perfect. So also, there's a lot of, when it comes to fertility, there's a lot of from the Western medicine, there's assisted reproductive technology, IVFs, IUIs, ICSIs. And so do you work alongside other reproductive endocrinologists?
Yeah, we do. We do have a couple of well-known fertility clinics by my office within 15 minutes. And so we get a lot of patients from them to help them get ready for IVF. And so usually the treatment process is start 4 to 6 weeks before the IVF transfer to get you ready for the transfer. And then we do treatment on the day of the transfer. And then we also do 2 treatments, what we call the implantation period, day 4 and 8 after the transfer. And then after that, the waiting game, hopefully we get a positive test. And if they do, then we continue treatment. And if they don't, we also continue treatment to kind of help them get ready for the next transfer or for the next step, whatever that may be.
Yeah. Okay, great. So let's say a couple is looking at pursuing, fertility treatments, when should they consider acupuncture? So if a couple is looking into fertility treatments, it could be acupuncture, it could be Western medicine, assisted ARTs. When should they when should they come in for acupuncture? Like, what's the timing? When should they do it? What's the best time to come in?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different scenarios. So if they want to do fertility treatment without assisted reproductive technology, usually infertility is diagnosed as 1 year of trying to get pregnant without being able to get pregnant. And so that's usually the diagnosis, so 1 year of trying. And so for that type of patient, basically we plan on doing treatment, 3 to 6 months of treatment with just acupuncture and herbs and maybe nutrition and supplements. That takes a little bit longer, but we kind of focus on helping the body function better, and help them reach their health goals of getting pregnant. If they are doing Western medicine and acupuncture, we recommend doing 4 to 6 weeks before the transfer.
Okay. So if they want to do it naturally, really it doesn't matter when they do it. They can just start now. They don't have to wait a year of trying and then come in, right? They could do it if they want to start now.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
If they have difficulty, they don't have to wait a year.
Okay.
But yeah, usually it's like 6 months of trying or a year. But I mean, yeah, even if you just want to feel healthier and get ready to have a baby, you don't have to wait. You can start anytime.
Okay. Great. So you work alongside other reproductive endocrinologists, and talking about ARTs, assisted reproductive technologies, like here in Texas, I know you're in Utah. In Texas, like one round of IVF, in vitro fertilization, can cost the patient $15,000 to $20,000 just one try, right? Is that what they're seeing? What you're seeing, and also in Utah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the same type of price range in Utah as well.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like in Texas, most insurance companies do not cover that $15,000 to $20,000. Is that the same in Utah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they also, the research has shown that many couples going through IVF, usually the first one doesn't work, so they always have to do 2. So that's at least $30,000 just to try to do IVF like 2 times, right?
Yeah.
And so the like if we're looking at cost wise or investment wise, the acupuncture investment is so minuscule, it's so minimal compared to an IVF, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's only like 15 to 30% of the cost, so you kind of depending on the treatment plan and how long it takes, but it's definitely less than IVF.
And the benefit of doing acupuncture is that even if you don't get pregnant, actually you will actually be the woman will be healthier. So it's like a side benefit from it, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they feel healthier. Most of the symptoms will go away, and they'll have more energy. They'll be able to sleep better. They'll be able to function better. Less pain. So it really depends. The side benefit is phenomenal with acupuncture and herbs.
Yeah. And do you find that you also treat the male?
I do.
Because they're saying that some fertility is like 30 to 40%. Some of the infertility causes 30 to 40% of infertility causes these days are due to sperm. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, we also work with that as well, and so it takes 2 to make a baby, and so we want to both the husband and the wife are both healthy, and so even if the sperm count or is on normal range but on the low end, you still want to be able to give the couple the best chance of a successful pregnancy. So
yeah, that's great. And so what, like a person, they're looking for now they're interested in doing acupuncture in Utah County, and they've never had acupuncture before. What separates your clinic from the other clinics in Utah County?
So I think from what I know, we basically focus on helping the patient get results. And so part of that is a very thorough examination. And we basically will come up with a treatment plan after the examination to help them reach their health goals. So using plan that may, take more than 1 or 2 visits, it should take time for the body to, especially hormones, to change. And so for the expectation, we extend the treatment plan to help you reach your health goal. So if you're kind of like working out, if you want to train for a 5K, it takes 3 months to train for a 5K. The body's the same way. And so it should take time for the body to change and heal and be able to function better. And so we'll come with a treatment plan to help you reach your health goals.
Oh, I didn't know it takes 3 months to train for a 5K. Obviously, I've never run a 5K. That's why. That's great.
It takes me 3 months. It might be less.
All right, great, Dan. So any last words that you want to share with our audience?
So I just want to thank you for having me on your podcast, and that was really fun. But I just want to let everybody know that's watching that, if you have any questions or if you want to ask, about more about acupuncture, please reach out. Our website is lotusspringacupuncture.com, and you can also call the number from there. We'll be glad to help you out.
Beautiful. I was going to ask you that. Where can people find you? So they can go to your website. I will make sure I have that in the comments below. And just for FYI to the audience, anybody in Utah County, Dan is the person that we refer all of our fertility patients to. So if you ever have, because we get a lot of inquiries at our clinic at Achieve Integrative Health asking us, oh, do you know an acupuncturist and so? So I'm letting you know that Dan is our man. He's the guy that we send it to, send our patients any inquiries in Utah County. So you definitely want to check him out. Well, Dan, I appreciate you being on the show. And let's do this again. And let's go out and help a lot of people.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.